WOVU LP, Cleveland.
This is Open Door with Vince Robinson. In-depth conversations with people who are making a difference in the lives of others here and around the world. Culture is at the heart of who you are. Know your culture, find yourself on Open Door with Vince Robinson.
Grand Rising, Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to another edition of Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is Michele Rudolph. She is the communications person with the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. They are doing some fantastic things, as they always have, and they're going to be doing an event at Chakuya Restaurant, and it is going to involve the spoken word, and yours truly. Happy to be hosting an evening of the spoken word. It's an open mic Thursday, August 25th at Chakuya Resto Bar, 4620 Richmond Road in Warrensville Heights. It's going to run from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's going to be an evening of stories, poems, and songs, or whatever is on your heart. Welcome to Open Door, Michele.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So just in all transparency, because I always do this at the start of shows for whatever reason, we have a history that goes back several years. Kent State University, way back in the day, correct?
Yes, I am an alumni of Kent State University.
All right. And you came out of high school in Cleveland?
Yes, I did. I went to John Hay High School.
Oh, John Hay. Okay.
Yes, I'm a proud Hornet and Flash.
All right. I'm just thinking of some folks that I know that went to John Hay High School. I know somebody named John Mason now who was named Ernie Wooten back in the day. Was that one of your classmates?
I'm going to say no to that. I don't remember. I would remember Ernie Wooten.
Okay. Michelle Phelps is one of your former classmates.
Yes.
She would have been Stephanie Anderson back then.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So you are the communications officer for the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. You've had an association with that organization for quite some time. How did it come to be that you became involved with the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers?
Well, I have served as president of the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers and vice president of the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. So I have served in many capacities because I believe in what we do, which is to perpetuate the art of black storytelling. Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers is a cultural arts organization. And what we do, what we're trying to do and continually our mission is to perpetuate the art of black storytelling through the African oral tradition.
Okay.
So it's an ancient art, and we're trying to modernize it and, most of all, keep it alive.
Mm-hmm. Could you talk about why this oral tradition is so important to us as a people?
Well, it takes on many roles, Vince. When we talk about the griot who of the village, who had the responsibility of keeping the culture, making sure that traditions were performed in the correct way of the villagers. Also, they had the very important responsibility of making sure that the history is told before the written word, generation after generation after generation. So they were a diplomat of the village. So we take that role as well in the modern society and community, where we're transmitting our traditions and our culture and our history through storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really so important for us to tell the story, because when we look at our history and we deal with the filters that we are living with right now, and we face the reality that there are politicians, there are folks who are operating in our society who don't want us to know history. So when you think about, someone standing on stage and telling that story and giving history from our perspective, you can see how important it is for us. It's the way for us to remember.
Oh, yes, Vince, we're having that conversation all the time about the different storytellers and the perspective the storytelling is telling the story from, and the truth, the truth, where did it come from? Many stories have been collected and told by someone else, and it's our story, but it's been told by someone else, and you never know the origin of it, and it's changed to make the other culture look like the hero always. So it's very important that we tell our own stories.
Yes. One thing that I've noticed about it too, it doesn't really matter how old folks are in the audience. It could be old people, it could be young people, but at a given point in time, you'll have somebody from the Association of Black Storytellers standing on stage telling the story, and folks are rapt. I mean, they are seriously rapt, like they were watching a movie or something.
Oh, Vince, we have some master storytellers that are just to take you away, just like you're watching a movie. So, yes.
Yes. So how was it that you realized that you were a narrator? You were someone who would be telling that story.
Well, it wasn't that I thought I was. It's that I saw the masters, and I'm so enthralled in how they connect and engage with the audience, and also give this important information, which is my history, our history. And I said, well, I want to tell our history in this format, and that's really what it's all about. And so I had to learn how to do that. And speaking of that, I just completed a residency in Wilmington, Delaware, and it was called the Wilmington Black Storytelling Residency, and you had to apply. And it was a week-long residency where they immerse you in the culture and they nurtured the storyteller, teaching them the history and making sure that that you're telling the truth and you know how to research this truth. So it was really a wonderful experience. We were there for 7 days, and it was called Leaving Our Imprint. And then they went to the fundamentals of storytelling, and they said that storytelling is Black joy, and they immersed you into a learning environment. And you were taught by the masters, Charlotte Blake Austin and Dr. Frank Reed, Carlise Frank Reed. Mm-hmm. Emily Lasana, and some of the very famous people in Wilmington, Delaware as well came and talked to us. So it was really a wonderful experience.
Okay. Tell us about some of our local heroes, folks who are involved in the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers.
Oh, we have quite a few local heroes. Many of our CAB members have been. Our current president of the National Association of Black Storytellers is a CABS member. Her name is Kwanzaa Brewer. She is our national president. We're currently preparing to travel to Baltimore to the National Association 40th annual Black Storytelling Festival and Conference in November. And again, Kwanzaa Brewer is our national president. And we've had co-founder Barbara Eady. She was a co-founder and she was a president. We had several national presidents from our affiliate, Dr. Marianne Harris, Dr. Marianne Harris, Kwanzaa Brewer, and Barbara Eady.
That's amazing. So you all not only have a local presence, but you have a national presence as well. And the things that you are doing here are being duplicated across the country, and you're just moving this needle forward in terms of telling an accurate depiction of our history.
Absolutely. And CABS is one of 13 affiliates around the country that comprise the National Association of Black Storytellers.
Okay. And you've done a lot of amazing things locally. Are there any that you would like to share with us?
Yes. Recently, this just happened. This last couple of weeks that the CABS was able to participate in a summer enrichment program residency right here in Cleveland with Broadway School of Music with CMS District.
Mm-hmm.
So CABS participated in a 5-week summer enrichment program teaching pre-K and kindergartners a curriculum that included storytelling. And we were at 5 different schools.
Okay.
And this was very cutting edge because, they have music, then they have art. So this year they included music, art, and storytelling for the students.
Okay.
It was very exciting. It was new, first time. And it was a great experience for the students and the storytellers because many of the pre-K and kindergarten, they never heard of a storyteller or never saw a storyteller, let alone a Black storyteller.
Get out of here.
Yes. Yeah. They're little people. So, they don't have.
Okay. So you're able to do these kinds of things in schools as well.
Yes, and this was at 5 different schools doing a 5-week tenure over the summer.
I bet those students just ate it up.
It was very interesting. Yes, it was very interesting. I had the first week and I was at A.B. Hart, and they offer all type of things for the students. Actually, they come up from different areas of the city, and I saw drumming in one school. So, of course, Broadway School of Music and Art, they offered the storytelling, music, and art. And so we had 3 classes per day of the students. And so you had to have an actual curriculum. And we incorporated many stories and books and, things to encourage them to use their imagination.
Okay.
And oral skills.
Well, this is what we're going to do. I want you to give us one of those stories, one of the stories that you have shared. It doesn't matter how long or how short it is. We're going to break away for just a few moments, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to get a sample of the magic of storytelling right here on Open Door with Vince Robinson. And my guest, Michele Rudolph, she is the communication officer for the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. You're listening to 95.9 FM, WOVU, Burton Belcar Community Radio. Back in a minute.
WOVU 95.9 FM LP is a community radio station that is an enterprise of Burton Belcar Development Incorporated, BBC, the nonprofit community development corporation serving the greater Cleveland community through the terrestrial frequency of 95.9 FM. WOVU provides a vehicle to connect people to valuable information and resources through on-air broadcasting and associated social media platforms. WOVU addresses the concerns of the urban community with solutions-driven information that allows us to showcase Northeast Ohio talent and positive urban music not typically found on mainstream radio. We operate with the motto that people support what they help create. And WOVU, our voices united, provides exciting and creative ways to engage, involve, and uplift the community.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is Michele Rudolph, the communications officer for the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. She just shared with us that she participated in a project that had the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers in the schools telling stories to children. And earlier in the program, we just talked about how it is so universal that it appeals to young folk and old folk alike. So I wanted to give you a taste of the art of storytelling. So without any further ado, Michele Rudolph, take it away.
Thank you, Vince. This is a story of the hummingbird, and many of the storytellers use this story to encourage and inspire and motivate. In the forest, there was a great fire, and all the animals were running away from the fire, and they were screaming, Our homes are burning. Our homes are burning. What are we going to do? As they ran towards the river, all the animals were running except a tiny hummingbird. The hummingbird flew to the river and picked up one drop of water because that's all her tiny beak could hold. And she took the tiny drop of water and flew to the great fire and released a tiny drop of water over the fire. And she flew back to the river and she picked up one more drop of water. And then she flew to the fire and dropped the water over the fire. And she went back and forth, one drop of water at a time, back and forth. And so the animals, they stopped and they said, "Foolish bird, what do you expect to accomplish?" And the hummingbird said, "I may appear foolish, I may be small, but I'm doing the best that I can do." And that's all we require of the children. We tell them, just do the best that you can do.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. It's an amazing story, and it really speaks to, first of all, the fact that whatever your purpose is, live in it.
Live in it, walk in it. That's it. And no matter how small you are as well.
Yes. Yeah,
how young you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can do great things. You can do great things.
Yes, absolutely. So you're having this open mic, and I know in years past, it wasn't that long ago, but I can recall the similar program taking place at Larchmere Arts. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Eris.
Yes.
Who
she was the MC. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, it was a great evening. And,
yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. And I remember, I believe it was Jackie Boyd that did some storytelling that evening.
Yeah, yes, Jackie Boyd, and all the storytellers are invited to share whatever story they would like to share, and the public. So I would like to make sure that the public know that we're inviting you to come out and share your story or your poem or your song or whatever you would like to talk about or speak about or whatever's on your heart or whatever's on your mind.
Mm-hmm. Now, one other thing that I've noticed, and that is the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers is mostly female. Do you have any brothers that are storytelling now?
We do. We do have a few. We have a few brothers who are storytellers and have always been storytellers. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Now, we do have a few.
Okay. Well, can you shout them out? I'd like to know who they are.
Well, we have Brother Robert Smith. And then I think we have John Roberts. I don't know if you know him, John Roberts. He's an artist as well. Mm-hmm. He's a longtime member.
Okay. Now, are you talking about Robert Smith, who was the father of Michelle Smith Quarles?
No.
Okay. It's another Robert Smith.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I was getting ready to say, I never knew that Robert was telling. Okay.
You know that's a common name. So
Yeah. Well, I know one Robert Smith. I don't know the brother, but congratulations and kudos to him. I'm remembering participating in a program with the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers at Kwanzaa this past year at the Museum of Contemporary Art.
Yes, probably. So that was we were invited to participate in that program. And I want to say Jackie Boyd was the storyteller there.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple of storytellers, and I was actually a storyteller that day too, I think.
And all storytellers did not belong to CABS. Some of them are in other organizations or on their own. So,
okay.
and anyone can be a storyteller. Let me say that to everyone.
Mm-hmm. So you do have regular meetings, and I know I do get the emails about your meetings. So it's definitely a movement. It's not something that's just hit or miss here and there. You guys are perpetually engaged in connecting with the community.
Yes, we are, and we're artists in residence at Caribou House, and I'm very happy to announce that we will be returning to Caribou after 2 years of pandemic hiatus. This September 23rd will be our first in-person meeting at Caribou, which is our home.
Okay, so
the meeting is the fourth Friday of each month at 6:00 at Caribou.
Okay.
Caribou House.
Okay, and do you have any plans to do events at Caribou?
Not immediately. You know, they use up all the space that they have, and with the coming back out of pandemic, they have been gradually, doing things. So, but we do plan on. I would like to announce that we are planning to travel to Baltimore, Maryland, where we'll be attending the National Association of Black Storytellers 40th Annual Black Storytelling Festival and Conference. Now, we'll be traveling by bus. We're charting a bus, and anyone can come. Anyone is invited to come to Baltimore, Maryland, where we'll be attending the Black Storytelling Festival and Conference, and this is their 40th year, celebrating their 40th year having the conference.
Okay. And I think it's also important to point out that you are a nonprofit organization?
Yes, we're a nonprofit organization.
Okay. So you've been getting funding through Cuyahoga Arts and Culture then?
Yes, we have been we have been funded through CAC several times.
Okay. Well, while we're on the subject of funding, I just want to take a sidebar and tell folks out there that there are relief funds. So this message is for you, Michele, in case you weren't aware. There are funds that have been given to Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland from the American Rescue Plan Act. And they're going to be doing workshops to let folks know what the application process is and how they can fill out the application. So if you are an artist and you lost income as a result of the pandemic, you can actually apply for these funds. This show is going to air somewhere around the time that the application goes live. So August 17th is the date that these applications go live, and you can go to assemblycle.org to apply for these grants. So I'm not sure what the amount is going to be. I think it's going to be somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500, or maybe perhaps $1,000. But, in these times, any extra income that you have available to you, you should take advantage of it. So I'm telling you personally, if you fit that, then you should take advantage of it. And I'm encouraging everyone to tell everyone about this, because we should all get a piece of this pie. That's what the Assembly for the Arts stands for. It stands for equity in funding, and we want to definitely increase what we're doing for individual artists. You indicated earlier that you all actually did receive or are going to receive a grant from CAC.
Yes, we applied 2022 for the Cultural Arts Heritage Grant, which is a grant targeted for organizations like CABS, who lost income, but it's just they wanted to make sure that the organization is sustainable and keep going. So they offered again in 2023. So 2022 was the first time they offered the grant. So they're coming back again and offering organizations like CABS, who are historically and culturally serving African Americans or the BIPOC community to apply for these grants.
Okay. Well, what happened was they got $3.3 million from the county, and they split it between the Assembly for the Arts and Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. Cuyahoga Arts and Culture is going to be awarding funds to organizations that are already receiving grants. So you have that side of it, and then you have the Assembly for the Arts, which is going to be passing out that money to individual artists. But the city also received $511 million in ARPA funds, And the mayor suggested that 10 million of those 511 be appropriated for arts and culture. So city council is going to decide how much to give to arts and culture. I'm not going to say what the speculation is, but, part of it is that some of those funds will go to the Assembly for the Arts. So when that happens, we're going to be ringing the bell and letting folks know about that. So you have two opportunities to receive funding, one through the county and one through the city. And I will encourage you to go to assemblycle.org to find out exactly when and how that is going to happen. The Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers is going to have an open mic on Thursday, August 25th, and that will happen at Chakuya Resto Bar at 4620 Richmond Road in Warrensville Heights from 6 to 8 p.m. They have asked me to MC that program. I'm happy to do it, so I look forward to seeing you there. And I thank you for the invitation, Michele Rudolph.
Well, thank you for accepting the invitation, and thank you for always supporting us.
All right. Once again, Michele Rudolph, Communications Officer for the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. Thanks for being our guest on Open Door, and we look forward to that fine program in the very near future.
And thank you as well.
All right. We'll be right back with more Open Door right here on 95.9 FM WOVU, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station. We'll be right back.
Are you or someone you know in need of help? Here's a resource you can turn to.
The Thea Bowman Center has been serving the community for over 50 years and provides services to help support Mount Pleasant and surrounding communities of all ages. Some of these programs include adult education like GED, computer classes, food pantry, senior outreach, youth after school, and summer programs, and much more. Are you a Cleveland resident in need of a GED preparation, a food pantry, youth or senior programs? Then call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org. Call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org to register today.
This message is brought to you by the Thea Bowman Center and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Yeah, no offense, but what were we just listening to?
Oh, just something my previous writer wanted to hear. Want something else?
Yeah, actually, for sure. Can you switch that station to 95.9 FM, please?
Yeah, for sure. What kind of station is this?
What? You're not hip to 95.9 FM, BBC Community Radio? They have so many good shows. Whether it's a talk show, music show, it's so much good information on this station.
Yeah, I'll have to keep the dial right here then, since I drive so many different walks of life every day.
I literally listen every day and find out something new. Whether it's something for myself, my community, or just something special that's going on in the city.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep it locked right here on WOVU 95.9 FM.
Good, because I'm sure you and all your other writers would love this station just as much as I do.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson. I have been joined by Charde Renee. She is an artist and she's a multidisciplinary artist. So let's jump right into it and welcome to Open Door, Charde.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
All right. Well, Charde, you are probably one of the youngest folk that I've had on this radio program. For some reason, I connect with folks who are long in the tooth, but you are far from that. But I like to talk to guests about their history. So you're a native Clevelander?
Yes, I'm from here.
Okay. Represent your hood.
I'm actually a mutt. So I was raised on 131st in Glendale, like the Harvard area, and then Maple Heights is where I planted myself until 11th grade, and then I graduated from Warrensville.
Okay. All right. Okay. Warrensville Heights. I have a few folk that I know that are Warrensville Heights graduates, but they came out a long time before you did. When did you discover your artist voice?
Okay, so when it comes to music, I've been singing basically probably all my life. My dad sang a lot around the house, and then also church, just where, I started singing from birth to like 17. I was in the choir, praise teams, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So you've had a connection with music for quite some time, and I've noticed, even though you're a young person, you have a connection to the music of days gone by. Did that have anything to do with your upbringing and what your folks were listening to?
I would say so, yes. Even now, that's my musical preference. I just feel like music had a lot more substance back then, a lot more heart and soul, and that's really, I connect more to it. So I think it's a bit of both. I'm kind of an old soul, people say. And then on top of that, it's like what my mom listened to when she cleaned up.
Okay. So was there musical talent in your family as well?
Yes. My father's side, mostly as far as singing. My dad sings and all of his children does as well. Or something musical, produce it. And then on my mom's side, it's people play the drums, piano, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. And talk about some of the music that you were drawn to. Were there any particular artists that really resonated with you?
Yes, there were. So, growing up, it was really Anita Baker, the Isley Brothers, and then for me personally, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, and honestly, I like Macy Gray and Tracy Chapman.
That's interesting. I'm thinking of one of these artists plays guitar. Do you play any instruments?
Not one. I own a piano and a guitar that I was supposed to teach myself, and I have not yet. I think that is the greatest talent as a singer, and I just can't believe that people play instruments, to be honest. Even when I see you play the piano, I'm like, what in the world? I just think that's like some third level stuff there. I don't know. I think you guys are like way more talented than me because I can't grasp it. I don't know what it is, but I would love to. So no, I don't.
Well, it just, to an extent, it requires a little bit of discipline and just doing the same thing over and over again until it becomes second nature. So it might seem difficult on the front end, but, on the other hand, you pick up a paintbrush and you create images that look like something that folks can relate to, So for me to pick up a paintbrush and to do it with the same level of proficiency that you do could be quite intimidating.
Yeah.
So don't sell yourself short with that.
You got a point there. You got a point.
Yeah. But I encourage folk to take it up. I remember working for an insurance company years ago, and I had an appointment with a client, and I went to her house, and she was like, I want to say she was like 90 years old, and she had a piano in her living room. And she told me that she was taking lessons, So, yeah, you're never too old, and quiet as it's kept, you're never too young. So if you got that piano, and, I'll give you a few lessons if you want a few lessons, and no charge. Yeah, I'll give you,
I'll give you a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I want to learn. I want to be able to, just sit in it and perform kind of musically how I paint. I paint based upon whatever I feel. I want to be able to create my own music that way, like sitting there, playing the chords and just creating the sound.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing to know about music, and that is the simplest songs are the ones that get the most attention.
That's so true.
So you could get 3 chords and master those 3 chords, and you could sell 1 million records.
Come on now, Vince.
I'm seriously.
Come on down. I love that about you. Every time I'm around you, I know that I can learn. I can get fed.
Yes.
Just love that.
So you could take a song like So Beautiful.
Yes.
It's 4 chords. And you play those same 4 chords over and over and over again. So if you could actually master those 4 chords and playing those 4 chords and singing at the same time, you already the bomb, but you will be the bomb 2.0.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to be. I think that's another thing too. For you to sing and play the piano, I'm like, oh, you have done something here.
Yeah.
I can't walk and chew gum, so I'm trying, but I can. Like you said, I would have to just discipline myself.
Yeah. Well, it comes with practice. I mean, I finally gotten to a place where I could do poetry and play at the same time, and I haven't really done a whole lot of it.
Wow.
I wrote a song called Bacon Grease. And I sing it every once in a while. I don't really consider myself a singer, but I sing it every once in a while. And it's really more for comic relief than anything else. But I'll sing that song, and for whatever reason, people really like the song. But, Bacon Grease reflects me being a vegan. So, everybody ain't ready for that,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as difficult as you might think. So, I would encourage you to keep doing it. So you're in a musical group. It's called A New Vibe. And I've been watching on Facebook, and you guys are getting gigs all over the place. I know you did the Porch Fest, and you got rave reviews about that performance, but you're performing on stages that you never have imagined that you would be performing on. How did that come about for you?
Oof. I would just say first the source. Honestly, I'm big into like manifestation. So I'm on what you think about and what you focus on more. It grows coupled with other things. So I always say I honestly everything that's happened to me over the 4 years, I kind of wrote it or spoke it into existence in a way. And connecting with people. People sleep on the power of just us all being connected, having a conversation, kind of stepping off the phone. And coming from me, that is kind of odd, but stepping away from the device and just actually having a conversation with people. You don't know who they are, who they're connected to, and how you can impact each other's lives. So a lot of everything I got came from just networking, talking to people, being friendly. And then we find out, hey, you do this, I do that. Let's do this together. Mm-hmm. That's really how I got on bigger stages, and just not being afraid to go for things, even though I didn't fully feel like, I was prepared for it. And it happens. So I think that's really how it all happened. Just getting out here and doing what I love actively. And all of this just comes to me.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the folks that you're working with in the group. And I say this, and I ask this question knowing that you have a spirit of collaboration, and you're not one to hog the mic.
Oh, yeah, no. No. So A New Vibe is my band. I created it and scouted the people. I went to karaoke's and different places I went, I scouted people in that way. So my band, I have Ray Sean as my drummer. He drums for literally everybody, I believe. And
yeah, you stole him from me, actually. No, you stole him. But it's okay.
That's what I was like. He drums. Well, actually, he was in my first band, Nana. That's where I met him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have Honey Monet. That's like my sister, my best friend. I met her sister at a karaoke deal, who was in my first band. And me and her has been inseparable ever since. And then Journey Blue, who was a poet I met when I had to place the underground. That's actually Honey's best friend's So we all just said, you know what, let's put this together. You know, our messaging is kind of the same, so let's just put this together and see how it works. And I sing background vocals. Collectively, me, Dia, and Honey, we get called to sing background vocals for a lot of different people. So we're in a band called Smith Taylor singing background vocals, Apostle Jones singing background vocals, and then for Lauren Lozada, I hope I didn't mess up her last name, we sing background vocals for her. And yeah, so I'm just kind of singing everywhere.
Okay. Well, you know, another one of the things that I appreciate about you all is that you don't represent the cookie cutter stereotype of singers. You know, y'all, I want to say regular folks without being offensive, but you know, you're like, okay, that's my sister, that's my cousin. Somebody has talent and somebody that's not held back by what folks think you should look like when you're singing.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That is definitely it. You hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
I'm just not there. Like, my preference again is Marvin Gaye, Isley Brother, like everything about that time where music was like from a place of soul and heart, and like Nina Simone said, it should reflect the times. And I'm honestly over what's being pushed as far as, you know, in the media when it comes to music.
Yes.
I want us to be more, to me, everything should have a message. You should want to use your gifts to serve the greater cause. So that's kind of what I'm.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about gifts when we come back. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is Charde Renee, artist, and we'll be back on 95.9 FM WOVU.
Why you want to listen to WOVU 95.9 FM? Here's the reason why. We play all independent music from Cleveland artists. Yes, we do each and every night. We support the community. We support the Cleveland local artists. This is what we do. And we got the hottest playlists from gospel, from R&B, from rap, the hip hop, and also we have jazz right here, WOVU 95.9 FM. Don't forget to download our app right now, WOVU. This is a Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Hi, I'm Sophie Absolutely. And I'm Love Lachey XO.
Hey guys, it's Chef Vic with Saucer City.
Yo, what it do? It's your girl DJ Coco Z.
This your boy Lee Tron Twitty with My Smart Home Ohio.
What's good, y'all? This is Affinity with Spellbound Sounds.
Hey everyone, this is Purpose, CEO and founder of Stiletto Boss Women's Group. I love listening to WOVU 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is artist Charde Renee, and we were just talking about the importance of having relevant messaging in your music. She grew up listening to some of the greats like the Isley Brothers, and I know she probably has an affinity for Dionne Warwick because of the distinct aspect of her voice and, you know, just the beauty of it, you know. But you also talked about how you appreciate artists like Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, who probably feel the same way that you do and probably came up the same way with an appreciation for old music, and now they call it new music. They call it neo soul. They call it new soul, and you have a group called A New Vibe. So, what was the genesis of the name of your group?
Oh, you have the best questions ever. So I had a band. I first started my band journey in 2019, and it was Mixed Feelings. That was the name of the band. So that's what some people still know it as. I got attached to words and the meaning, like words being power. So I'm like, it's not really good to have mixed feelings, and maybe that's explaining a lot that's going on within the band dynamic. And so a new ANU means God of gods, and vibe, of course, is energy. So the meaning of our band name is God Energy. And that is it. That's what we aspire to spread, and that's what we aspire to receive. Like, it's kind of like us all connecting with the people that we're singing to, and them connecting to us, and us, the energy becoming this one source energy, basically. So
that's profound. I never would have made the association with Anu, but I know that it's very meaningful. So in a very subtle way, you're dropping history and culture on folks just by announcing the name of your group.
Yeah, come on.
Wow. Okay.
That's the plan.
Yes. So what are some of the kinds of places that you've been doing performances?
Ooh, a little bit everywhere. So mainly the music venues, Grog Shop, Winchester, Beachland, Mayhalls, and then like festivals now. I've been like Painesville Festival, Rock Hall. We just performed. This is with Apostle. We just did Fox 8 and So Far Sounds, Crowbar. It's my new favorite place. Lordy, just a lot of places. In the summer, it's a lot of outside stages, and we also do a lot of private events like birthday parties and weddings and grand openings and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So how do you go about getting all these gigs? How do you even find out about them?
Word of mouth, as crazy as that sounds. I don't actively book anything. People contact me, and then I decide whether it's something I want to do.
Wow. So they're coming to you then?
Yeah. I haven't booked a show since like 2019. Yeah, now it's just like, okay. I think it's because with my band, what I did there was go back and in like the Sankofa sense, like you got to go back to, sometimes you got to go back to go forward. So I went back musically to go forward because I feel like music is in a crazy place. So I went back to what I knew, which was harmony and kind of like the Staple Sisters vibe. There's nobody else really doing that. So whenever people think harmony, they're going to think of me and my girls. And I think that's what it is. There's really no other group of three people in my age group. I think it's a few sisters a little bit older than us doing it, but there's really just us. So I think that's a part of the call. And then also I try to walk in integrity and honesty. And I think that's where a lot of musicians fail. I'm on time. I communicate, and I'm going to do what you paid me to do with love. So I'm going to be respectful. That to me is what make people call us, to be honest.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. All right. So you've got quite a few things going. You're also a visual artist. Let's talk about what you're doing visually.
Visual arts. I'm a painter. I paint, and that's even wild to say. I've been painting for almost 5 years now. I started it through art therapy, and then I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. And I just never stopped. So that's it. I paint, my medium is acrylic primarily, and I do canvas art, and then I just tapped into murals, which is wild to me. I've painted 3 murals, one at Sankofa Garden. I say it's Shalom and Tranquility Garden on the west side. And then also I painted a mural on the bus recently, which is cool. And I don't honestly know where that came from. My family has a lot of artists in it. I personally never drew anything or painted anything until 4.5 years ago. And I just happen to be good at it, and it's calming for me. It's like my peace place.
What was it like for you to wake up to that talent?
Honestly, it was amazing. It was at a time where I know you just pointed out that you're vegan, where I cleared myself of a lot of junk, even what I ate. And I think when you do that, when you're in that type of space, you can get more downloads from source. So now people say they want to hear God talk. God's really talking to us all the time, but we don't have enough space to listen because of all the toxicity. So I think I found art because I was more so freeing myself from a lot at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what's significant about that to me is that, you know, many artists receive their, I guess, validation because they've gone through an educational process. You know, a lot of the artists in Cleveland, you know, some of the older artists, they went to Cooper School of Art. You know, I don't even know if Cooper School of Art still exists, but it just seemed to be a common thread, you know. But then I know artists who just discovered that they had an ability. A few weeks ago, I interviewed an artist from Cleveland who lives in Atlanta now. His name is Kenneth Zaki. And Kenneth, he discovered art, and then art became his therapy, and now art is his living. So he was a substance abuse counselor, and then at a certain point, he stepped away from that completely, and now he lives exclusively as an artist, and he had no formal training. And it sounds like there's a similar dynamic with you in that you didn't go to school for art, but you picked up a brush and you realized that, hey, I can do this. And now you do it. You are an activist as well. You had a space called the Underground. Tell us about that space and what you sought to accomplish with that.
Oh, the Underground. That was a great time. I really just wanted a place. At the time, my mindset was I had moved to East Cleveland because at the time, my relationship at the time, they were running for councilman there. And just visually just walking around East Cleveland and seeing the buildings, at first I wanted to like turn one of the houses into like this art house where the children in the community can come. I'll have different events. They can do open mic, paint, it's a place of community that I had when I was young. Like places like that, I felt like they didn't exist. So my ultimate goal was like to bring people of many different backgrounds and disciplines together to just pour some life into an area that was not so filled with life. And that was really the goal. And to be welcome into everybody, because a lot of places to me, I don't know, it can make you feel like, especially when it came to my open mic, it can make you feel like there's a them and there's a us. And I wanted to kind of be a place that did it. That was really my ultimate goal, to like bring community together.
Okay. Well, absolutely. You accomplished that. And, you know, it's something that is necessary these days, because we look around and we see things going on and we say, well, what are they going to do about that? But, you know, you say to yourself, well, what can I do about it? And then you do it. Congratulations to you, by the way, for being selected to be in a leadership cohort. Can you tell us about that?
My God. Gratitude is really all that comes over me. I took the chance and I apply. I'm very unorthodox, kind of like you said. I don't have any training in anything that I do. It's just things that I do. So the program to me will give me a chance to sit and speak with people who can help me in that way, like give me some sort of direction, because really everything I do is based upon the faith and believing that I can. And I would like to have more structure with it. So I'm very, very grateful to be able to sit around people who've been doing what I'm doing or can help me in other areas, and to be able to feed off of that. I'm just grateful, and honestly, I don't even believe it. So I'm just thankful.
Yes. Well, I'm happy that you're going to be a part of that cohort. It is a leadership program that has been created by the Assembly for the Arts. And while I'm talking about the Assembly for the Arts, I want to encourage everyone to plug in to the website, assemblycle.org. They're going to be giving out relief funds from the American Rescue Plan Act that they received from Cuyahoga County. They have well over $1 million to pass out. So you can go and apply. It will go live on August 17th. So just go to assemblycle.org. We are going to have a workshop for those who need assistance in filling out the application or have questions that they want to ask. And that will happen on August 31st at Larchmere Arts from 6 to 7:30. So again, you'll be able to go to that website and get all the details about that. You know, they passed out CARES Act money last year, and a lot of folks missed out, but we definitely want to get the word out. So go to the website, apply, go to the workshop if you need help. We want to do all that we can to make sure that you get that money. Charde Renee, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Best of luck and success to you in your musical and artistic endeavors, and keep doing what you do, and the world will be a better place.
Oh, thank you so much for everything. Thank you. It's people like you that helps people like me to, inspires us to keep going. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone out there for listening. Know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, make today your best day. Peace.